by Zoom Precision if I'd like to test their Zoom Precision engraving tool for the Scanncut. And I said yes. So they've kindly sent me this tool and some blanks to test it out with. So I've got a engraving bracelet making kit, which has a tool to fold your bracelet with, to bend it, and also some different size bracelets. So these ones will be, the aluminium will be a silver colour and the copper are a coppery colour, and some different size thicknesses. So we'll have fun with those. Now looking at the tool, open it up. It comes as part of the packaging, it comes with some blanks, some round ones and this shape and a couple of heart ones, and we'll have a look at them today. Right. It's a heart one in there, and this is the tool. Just get it out the box, get it out the way. And I'll work out how to open the container. I think it's this way. Oh, there we go. Let's stick down. There we go. So this is the little tool that sits in your accessory holder or your blade holder in your Scanncut. This actually screws off. Screws right off, and you can put your tool in the end that way. However, you can also just unscrew it slightly and put the tool in this way, like this. It has to be the right amount of screwing, and then it will go in. There we go. Then you screw it down. And about that much, I don't know if you can see it, about that much pops out. So sits in quite neatly in there. A bit like the blade on an old CM model, very similar. How you do that. So this really pointy blade, I might put it up there. Can you see it there? Let's put it up here a bit. That's a really pointy blade. And then you have another one that is not as pointy, kind of more of a dull blade. And then there's another one that's a bit thicker again. You can feel when I feel like I can feel that that's a little bit thicker, and this is blunter. Now initially I thought they were all engraving blades for metal. However, speaking with Precision Tools, Zoom Precision, they said this is actually the engraving blade, and these are more scoring or engraving on other materials other than metal. So like your faux leather or your leather, possibly card. They're looking at creating a special one for card at some point. So hopefully they do that, because that would be really good. Another accessory. And they said it's just a matter of making this accessory a little bit more versatile and useful for the crafters. So this is the one we will play with first. I'll see you in a moment. So the next step is to find a design. I'm in Canvas Workspace, the downloaded version, and I've actually have some designs that I've got from different kits I've purchased. So this is some of the designs that come with the line embossing for the embossing tool that you can purchase, which is a brother accessory. And there's a lot of designs in this section that you could choose. There's also in the region embossing, which I'm pretty sure these will work nicely too. However, I know that you've probably not got these. You may not have these accessories purchased. I'm just showing you what's available. There is the foiling projects as well, and these would turn out quite nicely using the engraving tool, I reckon, as well. Lots of designs in here. Single line designs will probably work the best. However, you can do thicker designs. So I'm going to choose a design from the free Canvas Workspace projects. You can type in the search criteria, you can type something in that on what you're searching for. I'm thinking foiling or foiled may give us what we want. You would have noticed also that there are some pre-selected categories at the top there, so you could just choose a category that suits what you're looking for. So foiling hasn't really brought me what I wanted, so foiled seems to be a better, or just foil. Sometimes less is better. And I'm going to have a go with this foiled handbag gift box. So we'll open that up and have a look what it's got. Yep, I reckon that design will work okay. So we just click on the design and bring it in. You don't need to bring all the pieces of the design for this one. So I'm just going to work with the foiling component of the design. If we click on this and go into the layers panel, down the bottom there, you'll see all the pieces of the design. If you use the eye feature, you'll be able to see which parts of the design you may not want, so that they're grouped. So we'll just unhide that group, but that's actually the foiling, so we want to keep that one. Let's have a look at this one here, and we'll click on that, and that's removed most of the pieces that we don't want. And then there's just a few little extra pieces in here that I don't want to use as the engraving. See if we can find them by searching. There's quite a few, but I think I'll just ungroup. And we've just ungrouped. That makes it a little bit easier. And you can see it's not grouped here. I don't want that key, so I'll just highlight that. And also I'm going to just highlight some of these pieces and remove them as well. There's another little piece over here I don't want. Okay, so we're left with mainly the foiled part of the design, which will translate to an engraving design as well. Now, if I group them back up, we can see the pieces that are there, except the piece where the key was, that area where that little keyhole was in the design that I didn't want, probably needs to be duplicated, that piece above it. I don't know whether you can see, but there's a little piece there that I think I might duplicate and rotate down, so I've got a completed design. Now I'll just have a little go at selecting it. It's not going to let me do it easily. So you can go over here to the right and look for the piece without ungrouping, and it will select just that piece. Now looking for a little upside down teardrop. One looks like it. There's a lot of pieces there, but most of them didn't look like upside down teardrops, so that was lucky. And Control C and Control V to duplicate that, and we'll just flip it over. In the edit panel we flipped, and I'm just going to move it into position so it looks relatively like it's meant to be there. That's not too bad. Okay, I think that will work for us, and I'll just group it back up again. Up in the top panel to group it. Oops, having a little bit of trouble with my zoom there. So you can see, zoom so you can see, and grouped. You can also group in the bottom of the layers panel. Now resizing, because that will be a little bit too big, I think, for the blank I'm going to use. And if you make sure your maintain sizing is selected, and then just bring it down the size that you want. At this stage I'm just guessing how big my blank is. So I would also go into Canvas Workspace so you can resize in there if you need to do it that way as well. Let's send it to the machine and have a look. Let's go up to File, Export the design, and export over to your machine over on Wi-Fi. If you have a USB, you can use the saving the file to USB. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, here we are at the Scanncut machine. We retrieve our data using the Wi-Fi option with the Artspira icon. And I've brought in another design with this one. That's okay, we'll sort that out in a minute. I'm just going to speed this up. And there we just about go. And I'm going to get rid of, so we're going to edit. And I'm just going to remove that. See, it's highlighted with the red box. We'll just delete that for the moment. I don't want that one for a minute. And now I'm going to use the zoom tool to zoom in and position the design on the blank properly. So I've zoomed right up on the left hand side to 400%. Using this arrow key to scroll the mat down, and you can actually use the bottom ones to scroll it left and right. And this, the top arrows scroll, this one will scroll it, the actual design down, and then to the left. You can also scroll it to the right. You can actually pick it up with your stylus and move it around as well. Just going to resize it a little bit. So I've gone back and then chosen resize. Now, this little toggle that I've just highlighted blue will change the maintain ratio off and on. So you can see with it on blue that it changes one width or height at a time. If you take it off, it will change both. So they go in ratio. So we'll just resize the design down a little bit so it's going to fit the blank a bit better. Go OK. That was up there that we used. And zoom back in and check it again. So just move it down, the mat down a little bit so I can see all the mat on the screen. Virtual mat, I suppose you'd call it. Just going to move. You can see the designs highlighted with the red box. We'll move it to the right a little bit. Perhaps to the left. I'll probably just fiddle with this for a little minute, getting it positioned how I'm happy with it. Just use the arrow keys as you would like. If you have to move it a large distance, you're much better off using your stylus for that because it will move it very quickly. I'm just going to adjust it a little bit more. So it's still not quite how I want it. That might be okay. Now just do it perhaps a little bit more. And go OK and zoom back in and double check it. Okay, once you're happy with it, I'll just move it around a little bit more. This is adjusting it quite incrementally onto your blank. Your design just moves around tiny little, I'd like to say millimetres, but it's not even millimetres, it's tiny little increments to move around. Once you're happy with it, I've got a bit of camera wobble, sorry, we'll go OK and go into there and choose draw. And you can adjust your draw settings by the tool icon, up and down, change your speed. So go start, attach the appropriate holder comes up as a message. So ignore that and just go OK. And also you may need to adjust your scanner lever from 1 to 2, depending, the blank's relatively thick, so it likes it on 2 for that. So go start and off we go. Now it's 2 minutes to do this design. Might speed that up perhaps. Just give me a sec. Oh, there we go. So you can see I've used a piece of transfer tape, stuck the blank onto the transfer tape, and then I stuck the transfer tape onto my mat. You can also use a piece of double-sided tape or something similar to that. If you think the double-sided tape will come off your mat okay, I just thought this was an easier method for me. As long as the blank is held down firmly, that will be perfectly fine. Just needs to be stabilised. If I had have had enough room, or if your blank's large enough, you could just use painter's tape to tape it to the mat directly with it onto the blank. However, in this particular instance, the design went as far as the edge of the blank, so I didn't really want to do that. And so this method actually worked really well for me. I was able to use this perfectly fine. And I used my old mat because I was a little bit nervous about that very pointy blade, tip, the blade or the tip in the zoom tool. But I didn't have to worry. Look, it's just cutting perfectly. Slots into your holder exactly like a normal blade or the auto blade does. I found it a little bit firmer to push down than a normal blade, but just be careful pushing it down. Gently pushing it down was fine. And the other thing is you just probably keep in mind that the tool is not a brother tool, and if you're under warranty and something does go wrong, it may void your warranty. So just keep that in mind. My machine is a bit older and not under warranty. And that's finished, and let's have a look at it any second. And I was really pleased with how it turned out. It's kind of really impressed me how crisp and clear it was. I also tried a number of other options with the different tips with the blanks, and I'll just show you those results. Much the same procedure, just adjusting the depth a little bit. So this was the first one I did up on the top right with the very fine point. And then I used the bit thicker tip with that one, and I went over that quite a few times. It's gone. It's engraved, but it's not as graved as much as I would like. And that was the final one that I played with, which was the thickest tip. On the black especially, it did not show up very well. So it was only after I finished playing with the different depths and everything, I went to Jordan from Zoom Precision Tools, who explained that the other two tips were predominantly for materials like faux leather and basically etching of different sort than metal. So I probably did a great job of getting it as far as I did. Anyway, I will demonstrate some more of this amazing tool with the bracelet design that I've put together, and also with some faux leather when I get a chance. Catch you next time.